questions.
So Kentucky put up the most points against Florida since like the 50s, and so how are you all trying to maintain this momentum going against Tech?
I really mean this. It has been about the process for a while now, and so it's probably the first time I've heard that, but um, I think it just comes down to improvement. And I think, this offense, this team, there's something, in us that is all about improvement and have been even before we had gotten on a decent little run here. So we're trying to get these guys to the next level, make them the best players they can be, and that's been the focus.
Which I know we talk a lot about what happened since South Carolina, but was there a specific moment where you guys sat down and said, "All right, we got to change a lot of stuff here to make this work"?
Yeah, I mean, I attribute it. I was fortunate to bring in, Kevin Barbet, who's been a coordinator a lot of places, and I do. I remember him, sitting there after game and us talking about what do we have to do, particularly after that game, and what direction do we have to go. And he kind of said something to me, which, keep between us, but has been a little bit of philosophically what the direction we've gone. And again, it's not about what we've done in the past. It's not about what people say is right. What's right is what's working, and so we've tried to stay focused on that and just continue to build on it.
One of the impressive things on Saturday was there was a really balanced mix between the run game and the passing game. As the coordinator, do you hit almost like a flow state when kind of everything seems to get clicking and you've got a lot at your disposal to use?
I think so. I think you probably said it perfectly with the term flow state. When you can run the ball, a lot of things just naturally start happening. And again, if you can run it, generally you get backers reacting, you get safeties downhill, you have the opportunity for play action pass and creating those things. And again, I think I've been proud of the third down operation. That's been critical as well, us extending drives and the mixture of what, um, we did on short yardage to third down, the ability to run the ball, efficient passing. I think a lot of that led to a successful day.
The direct snap stuff, the Seth we've seen in some short yard recently, is that something new that you just added, or has that always been in the playbook? You just kind of used it more? Where did that come
Yeah, I think it's a split second faster getting him the ball, and I think every week we're watching, every short yardage in the country, every explosive play in the country, and you're fortunate enough to have the data these days to do it. And so, we've always done similar things to that, but it's a package we've seen, and we think we can use it to benefit us.
What's the benefit there of having Cutter still standing back there to where there's some mystery where it's going as opposed to like moving him out of the line, which is what we've seen with Wildcat in the past?
Yeah, I think maybe sometimes it's hard to know exactly where he is. Now, Cutter's, all the 6'9", and I think he stands out. But, if whether he's 6 inches in the B gap or he's in the A gap, sometimes I'm not so sure from breaking the huddle, being there so quick that they really have an idea where he's at.
What's unique about Tennessee Tech's defense? Obviously, they're undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot that's not unique. So there's a ton of movement. These guys play extremely hard. They're playing extremely confident. I would just say for us, like every snap, the front seven is moving. So constant movement, a lot of different defense, and so I think the biggest thing for us is we've got to stick to our rules and we've got to play fast.
The theme sort of seems to be Stoops said after the post game in Florida and yesterday, a lot of growth. You mentioned growth. How has the growth of guys like Cutter and Kendrick and JJ who have really stepped into these roles haven't made your job easier and made this offense really open up?
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier, certainly when we're making plays and executing. But, I'm proud of each of those guys. I'm proud of our staff. We got a lot of work to finish and a lot of things to get done. But we think it's been a blend of how do you build confidence in these guys, figuring out the direction you want to go, what are the concepts we can get good at, and just keep doing them over and over again. Ultimately, I think we're playing as confident as we probably have in my time here, and it's a testament to the staff and the players and everybody involved.
And speaking of growth, an undefeated Tennessee Tech team, not an unusual kind of mid-November opponent. What's like this next step you want to see the offense take in this game?
I think this team has gone through a ton of weeks where it's just about us, right? Like we've been down in the dumps and not even really focused on, hey, what do these guys do and what is this? We've just had to go to work and really figure who we are out, if you will. And so I think the approach is no different. This is a talented team. You don't want to see them at this time. Absolutely. You guys know that. They're undefeated for a reason. They're very good schematically. But for us, and on top of how much scheme they do on defense and the movement, we've got to play our game. We've got to stick to our rules. And again, not allow them to slow us down, if you will.
How much of their challenge this week is kind of that mental game coming off an emotional big win like that and having this kind of game this weekend, not letting human nature affect it.
I think we'll build it up, as the week kind of goes. Again, it has been a very steady group right now. I think you have to be real with your offensive players. There's guys, the reality of it is we know what's at stake and what we need to get done from a legacy standpoint, from a standpoint of guys getting an opportunity at the next level in the NFL, for an opportunity for next year, and guys figuring that out. And so my approach has probably changed in that way. Like every week in this day and age of college football is really important. And I think it's been that approach with the players that this is not 5, 7, 10 years ago. Every one of your plays is being evaluated by somebody, and your tape is your resume.
Saturday is senior day. How important have these last couple games been, and these next couple in front of you continue to be in terms of giving them some of the payoff? Because somebody like Cutter or these freshman receivers, like they've got a lot more ball to play in front of them. But for the seniors, like this is kind of their moment.
Yeah, it's critical. I mean, I think you go back to, when you were in that situation, and sometimes the catalysts, if you will, for a program are not always the guys you might think they are, and sometimes it's some of the guys that have kind of just been here 2, 3, 4 years, done everything the right way, been a great teammate. And so I think about that for a lot of guys, starters, non-starters, guys who've had to step up and make plays. You want to end it right because they deserve that. We talked about the fans deserving this the last week, and it's no different for our seniors.
You mentioned the running backs earlier. Do you feel like you've, found that balance of when to use, the trio there, Jason and then Seth and then Dante, and especially this past week, it looked like, they specifically were all the same core there. Do you feel like you sort of use all of them in their own way?
Yeah, Jay Boulware's done a tremendous job with that because not only has it been the two backs, but he's really brought along Jason Patterson really well. And so, a lot of times things happen in split moments, and I'm calling a personnel group that I'm thinking Seth's supposed to be out there for, and he's down for a play, and to see Jason go in there and step right up and have that touchdown. Again, he's one of those guys. I think I've said that about him from day one. Like, he just continues to work hard, not worry about how many reps am I getting, and because of that, he's having the success he's having.
What's the biggest area of growth you've seen from Cutter from Eastern Michigan, South Carolina to last week and even during practice this week?
Yeah, I think when he is what we call climbing the pocket, when he is moving up in the pocket and making vertical runs when things aren't there, that's the critical part of his game. And I think you saw it. I know there's a lot of great plays in that, but from a standpoint of being there with him for the last 15 months, the vertical run on like 3rd and 8 that he had, I believe in the first drive of the second half where he extends the drive. He's got that big arm, as we know. He's an old school, prototypical pro style guy, but he's got enough running game that when he continues to add that, getting the ball out of his hands quick is something we've worked on a lot, but that vertical run ability has been critical.
Let's say about JJ's presence of mind to make that player who reaches it over the pylon there instead of just going out of bounds like they do.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's one of those things when you reach it over and it's not, 4th down. If it works, you pat them on the back. If the ball gets fumbled in the end zone, you normally get on them. So sometimes their instincts have to take over, and we work as much as we can for them not to necessarily do that. But again, for him to keep plugging away and to make a big play in that game, we felt that drive, utilizing that tempo was a big change in that game, and we're certainly proud of him.
Okay, folks. We got one more. Somebody got one more.
I was going to ask about Dante. We kind of envisioned him kind of all summer going into the season as a big, bruising power back, but he's giving you guys a couple of your more explosive plays this season. Is there an extra gear there that we just want to wear up?
I think so. I saw something this weekend where he was one of the faster guys on the field in college football, and just think anytime you have a player that really excels at one thing, but then can add the other thing, it can be special. You know, we talk about Cutter and maybe from his throwing ability and that standpoint, but when he gets really good is when he extends plays with his legs and is good as a runner. I think that about Dante. You know, it's going to be a physical game when he's touching the ball, but his ability to make the first guy miss, create those explosive runs, that's ultimately how points get scored is by creating those big ones.
Okay, folks, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, Bush.